What is up, BNCers? Welcome to BNC Cast. I want to talk to you just a little bit about an invitation. I'm not inviting you to anything, but I want you to think about what it feels like to be invited to something. It always makes me feel good. It kind of makes me feel like I'm wanted or like I'm desired. It just kind of gives you kind of for lack of a better word, a warm, fuzzy feeling. It just makes you feel good that you're invited either to somebody's party or to celebrate with somebody. It just feels good to get an invitation. Now, I want to talk about invitations, but I want to talk about it from a different angle. There's kind of two sides to this coin, and I want to cover just primarily one, but I'll touch on the other one. As with a lot of the other details in our lives, what we say and what we do and how we respond to things doesn't happen in isolation just with us. It happens in the realm of everyone else, and it does impact everyone else, including ourselves. So how we respond and what we say and what we do in different circumstances and situations directly impacts us, but also those that are around us. You see, when we invite somebody, they feel honored. They feel like they're welcome to come in. You see, when we respond to something, when we respond to a situation, either by words or by actions, we end up sending out an invitation. Because when we respond poorly, when we respond in a way that is not godly, maybe it's in what we say, maybe it's in what we do, but in either way, we respond in a poor way, and it opens up the door for the enemy. It's almost like sending an invitation to him, because when we respond in a poor way, and sometimes in a sinful way, we open up the door for him. It's almost like we're sending an open invitation to him to say, hey, come on in, have a party here. You know, I said that a little sarcastically, but the truth is, we send out an open invitation to him. We're saying we're an open door, come on in. And a lot of times, at least in my own life and in my experience, it ends up being pride that ends up slipping in. It ends up being a slow fade and a slippery slope, and it ends up taking me in a direction that I don't want to go. In fact, the direction it takes me is away from God, and that's not what I want at all in my life. When I respond poorly, I open myself up and invite the enemy to come in and wreak havoc all of my life. And we get to choose how we respond. He doesn't read our thoughts. He can't know our thoughts, but he can certainly read our responses. He can read our attitudes as far as how we respond on the outside. He can watch our body language. He can watch what we say. He can watch our actions, our reactions, and he kind of feeds off of that. And then we end up giving him an open invitation, sort of like saying, come on in, party's right here. And we don't want to do that with him. Instead, we want to invite something else into our lives. We want to invite the Holy Spirit into our lives. And sometimes that ends up being on a minute-by-minute basis. I know, at least for me, that's the way it feels like sometimes. On days that you're struggling, I'm inviting him in on a constant basis for help, for guidance, in all circumstances. Help me respond in a godly way, because I definitely don't want to send out an invitation to the enemy. In the story of Esther, Haman makes a bad decision. He makes a bad response, and he opens the door up for things to get worse. And pride comes in. He gets real prideful, gets a big head. Then he gets really vile. He gets really sadistic. He's to the point where he's filled with rage, and it ends up being his ultimate demise. And that can happen in our lives, not so much physically, not in certainly what happens to Haman, but it can happen to us spiritually. And so we want to be on guard for that. We want to watch what we're inviting into our lives and who we're inviting into our lives. I think is more importantly the way to state that. It all starts with an invitation. Who are you going to invite into your life? For me, I want to make sure it's the Holy Spirit. I want to make sure I'm inviting him into my life. And that's a whole nother post. Who we invite into our lives makes a big difference. And I want to start by inviting the Holy Spirit into my life so that I'm setting off on the right foot and doing it on an hourly basis, on a minute-by-minute basis if I have to, just so that I make sure that I'm not inviting the enemy in. In what we say, in what we do, let's be true. Let's be honorable. Those that we're leading, whether it's kids, whether it's teenagers, whether it's adults, let's make sure we're honorable in how we respond and make sure we're setting an example. Let's not leave the door open. Let's not leave an invitation for the enemy to come in. Let's slam that door shut and instead invite the Holy Spirit in. Thanks so much for being a part of our BNC family.